Hello, everybody. It's Bill's that college football guy here. Another video. Yeah, I'm sitting here in southern Tennessee, kind of near the Alabama border. So the reception's gonna be kind of spotty. Hopefully this thing will upload in time. But this is gonna be. We had the video a couple days ago. The Pac-12 being quiet. This one is what's the future of the Mountain West Conference, expansion-wise and everything else. Well, first off, let's get to it. Number one, thanks everybody for interaction with me on the Pac-12 video. I'm a very small YouTuber, very, very small. And a video going over 1,000 views is big for my channel. I'm not kidding. I'm going to tell the truth. That had a lot of engagement, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you to everyone. So the fact is, the videos you want to talk about, the videos you want to see is what I'm trying to do. Getting away from stuff that's before is like what other people suggested. What do you want to see? Because I've gone back through the views and videos that other people have said that I went with it, but it didn't feel good to me, and turns out the viewership sucked. So we're going to kind of do a little bit differently from now on. Now, this one I know you want to hear about is the fact is, what's the future of the Mountain West Conference? Now, when I started writing my notes, I didn't know a few things. One of them being, well, what's the future of the conference going to be, a media deal, everything else. When I started writing these notes way back when, well, we all know UTEP got added, Hawaii became a full member, so now they have 8 full members of the conference. They're stabilized. We now know that their media deal has been extended. Now I'm going to be asking a few people to confirm me in the comments, because I'm literally have had no cell reception for almost a day, bouncing between towers and where I had to drive. So it's been kind of rough. So literally, like you're going to go watch a video on YouTube, you go one down and you see buffering, and it stays that way for 20 minutes. No matter how many times you reset the phone to reset yourself off the new towers. Yeah, that bad. So, and text messages take 6 minutes. It's bad. So needless to say, I haven't caught up on anything here. I know the fact that they've gotten the media deal got extended, got renewed. I'm sure it confirmed the fact that, does that mean CBS, Fox, and TNT have all done it, or is it a combination, or did all three agree? If you find out more than I do, let me know in the comments. I don't mind on there, because literally I haven't been finding out, because I can't, by the time I need to get this video uploaded, by the time I get a signal, it'll be too late. So, gotta go with this, and you guys can correct me in the comments, because I have no problem saying I'm wrong, because I don't know. Now, I wasn't real the fact about the media deal, was I was talking about Endeavor. You know, the Pac-12 has Navigate working their deal. Mountain West has Endeavor helping them with theirs. Now, Endeavor is, the fact is, okay, they got the media deal, they're done. No, they're not. There's other opportunities to get money. The TNT deal proved that. There are other ones we may not know about that they're still looking at to try to bring in more money for the conference. So the fact is, they're going to be getting the same deal they had before, which I thought, considering what you lost, you can get the same deal back. That's impressive. But it also tells me something else. This conference is worth more than their money. Now, I can hear some Pac-12 fans say, what are you talking about? Hear me out. They already renewed. Now. Almost 2 years, a year and a half away, they renewed. Which tells me one thing. That little rumor that the Mountain West value-wise was valued at $5 to $6 million wasn't that far off, the current iteration. Because if you're valued at $5 to $6 million for a media partner, you had a chance to opt into an extension at 4 and save yourself $2 million a year per school. You're doing it in a heartbeat, and that's exactly what they did. So that tells me that they're actually worth more than that. Now, the one thing I don't know for sure, and I've heard rumors on this, is the fact for the next extension, which will be 2031, that's not an opt-in or a renewal. That's a right of first negotiation, exclusivity. Right of first refusal, whatever the heck you want to say it is. But they have the right to come in, and all the partners to come in and work with the conference again. Now, if you're the Mountain West, you want to maximize your value. Maximizing your value means you need to have as much as you possibly can to maximum value you can for the conference. I just got a little notification on my thing over here, so I was looking at that for my next load. But I can get this video in before I got to do anything. Maximum value. which means you need to get more basketball schools in. Now, here's the one thing here. This is a college football channel. We know this. I'm the college football guy. So this is a question I'm going to ask you, and I need more than just one or two people answering on this. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it, because one or two people is not enough to convince me to do something. I need the channel to tell me. Now, if you are a G conference, this is for the Pac-12, this applies to, and they figured it out quickly. The two ways you make your money is either being through your media deal, because you can't guarantee the college football playoff, your media deal, and your NCAA tournament shares. Pac-12 figured it out, brought in Gonzaga, who brings in a ton of tournament shares. But here's the one little thing, though. You come into the conference, everything you earned before stays with the conference. So all those shares they earned at Gonzaga with the West Coast Conference stays. They don't start earning shares for the Pac-12 until they start playing in the Pac-12 in 2026. So that's how that goes. The same with the basketball shares for San Diego State. They don't get to take those with them either. Or Boise State, or Colorado State, or Utah State. The 4 of the 7 schools in the Mountain West that earn tournament shares. Those money don't carry over. So they got, Pac-12 figured it out. Get the basketball shares in, because that adds in more money for everybody. Now the Mountain West, you lost 4 of your tournament schools. Now what I mean by tournament school, this is what I consider. Your tournament shares count toward your conference, as far as I remember correctly, is it's they do a 5-year period. A 5-year period. My hand's straight with the damn camera. 5-year period. And if you earn a share in that point, it carries for 5 years. Now, we had no tournament in 20. So it's 19, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's the 5 years. Now, in those 5 years, 7 schools contributed shares. Boise, San Diego State, Colorado State, Utah State, Nevada, New Mexico, and Wyoming. So 4 of those schools are leaving. 3 remain. But they've added 1. Because Hawaii earned a share for the Big West in the last 5 years. I looked it up. The Big West last 5 shares winners. Hawaii's got 1. Cal State Fullerton's got 1. Long Beach State's got 1. And the school that I would consider a dark horse basketball candidate, Cal Santa Barbara, UCSB, who has 2. A couple of 27-29 win seasons. Possibly. Now, Pac-12 brought in schools. Pac-12 are going to bring another basketball school. Here's the question I'm going to do real quick on this. So I can get into the rest of this Mountain West. I brought up the basketball. That's how you make the money. Do you want me to do a video about Pac-12? I'm going to combine it together, because it's basically the candidates for basketball is going to possibly go with both. This is one situation where both of them will be in the same boat. There's one thing you understand about tournament shares. There's no G5 tournament payout and an A4 tournament payout. Everybody gets paid the same for a tournament share. Whether you're in the Patriot League or the Big Ten, it pays the same. The basketball tournament is complete equality on that. So, do you want me to do a video which shows the basketball candidates for both the Pac-12 and the Mountain West? Let me know in the comments. If I don't get enough votes on it, I'm not going to do it. If I do, okay, I'll do it. Now, that being said, moving on. Endeavor looking for more possibilities. We know about the revenue possibilities. Mountain West has their 8 members. You added UTEP, you made Hawaii a full member. Basketball tournament school year before, that puts you at possible more revenue. Where are you going to go from here? Now, the lawsuit came up, and the Mountain West filed for an extension. And they're going like, oh, no, they're in trouble. I've heard this on Twitter. They're in trouble. I'm like, perhaps they're playing the long game, because the fact is, they don't have to settle with the Pac-12. They don't have to settle. And one thing that someone there can correct me on this one is, if the Mountain West wins the case, doesn't the Pac-12 have to pay all the Mountain West legal fees on top of having to pay the settlement? So the Pac-12 would have to pay all those fees, their own legal fees, and the Mountain West legal fees. Why would you settle? for all those penalty fees, poaching penalties. But that aside, where are they going to go? Where is the Mountain West going? Now, we all heard, it came out originally because we had the lawsuit that's going on. They got the 8 members. They got the media deal. They're set. For the next 5 years, they're solid. Now, ideally, you want to have at least 9 football schools, because that gives you, actually, and truthfully, you want 9 of everything. Because a 16-game basketball schedule looks a hell of a lot better than a 14-game conference schedule. 16 looks better. So that's something to consider. I think they're going to be adding a basketball-only member. Or another full member, at least. And I'm going to agree with a lot of people that it's going to probably end up being 10 full members and 12 for football. Eventually. But we've heard the talk about Northern Illinois, NIU. In DeKalb, Illinois, a little bit around south of Chicago. Not that bad to get into, not easy, but not exactly bad. There's a lot of talk about them coming in, and there's the Toledo talk is done. I have heard nothing about it. I've heard a lot about it in NIU. A guy I know who found out was a subscriber said, "Don't mention my name. I don't want my boss finding out." And there's a reason why. I'm going to get to it. He used to be down in Florida. He moved to Illinois. He used to work at UNLV back in the day. Got a job at a smaller school in Florida. And now works in Northern Illinois. I was like, when were you planning on telling me this? So we've been having phone calls and talking quite a bit because he's been in off time and I've been sitting around waiting doing my stuff. So we're talking and everything else. And he says that basically the same thing that I have been hearing online is the same thing around the university. NIU feels they've outgrown the MAC. They want to take the next step and challenge themselves. So what's the deal? So why on there? Is it a football-only membership? And they said they're actually preliminarily people that he's been hearing. This is a one source, so don't take this as gospel. That they're looking around, the same I've been hearing, looking around, trying to find a home for their Olympic sports. Missouri Valley Conference was mentioned. There's a couple other possibilities. But they want to try to get the Olympic sports in another conference and come into the Mountain West. Now they're going like, well, why? Well, the deal is set. It's the same payout as they were getting before. Now, I believe it came out the fact, I think it's 85-15 football, basketball payouts. They may have to do more than that. If you want to get a GCU or a basketball-only school, you better make it 50-50. Because they're not going to come for pittance. They're not going to do it. 85-15 is not going to work. If you want to make it a 70 to 85% payout for football schools, that's fine. Basketball schools are not going to take 15%. They won't show up. That money's going to have to be higher. So, let's say I've heard 75%, 80, 85%. Someone will correct me in the comments what it is. But the 85%, 75%, whatever it is, the point is, let's say it's 75%. I know I've been hearing a lot more than that, but let's just say it's 75%. $4 million deal, that's $3 million a year for football. The max payout on the right now is making $600,000 and change. In a couple of years, the new payout is $2 to $2.5 million for everything. They'd be making $3 million just for football. That's something they're considering. So, NIU, football-only member, has a possibility. Here's the problem. And the question for the Mountain West fans here. If NIU couldn't find a home for all their sports, and it's an all-or-nothing proposition, would you take them? You're going to Hawaii for basketball. This would be going outside of Chicago. That might not be as bad as you think. But football only, they would like to do football only and keep their Olympic sports regional, but they're having the backdoor channel of if they had to. So I'm asking you, if they had to, would you think they should take them? So NIU and Toledo. One other thing I'm going to get into right now is, hold on, don't fall over. FCS schools. There's not going to be any FCS invites right now until the House settlement is done, because they don't want somebody coming in from FCS to FBS and say, no, we don't want to pay in the House settlement. That screws over everybody else who's already signed on this. Everybody else is going to get screwed. So basically, all the commissioners in the FBS have agreed. Every conference commissioner's agreed. Nobody's coming up from FCS to FBS. Nobody's coming up from Division 2. Nobody's moving up because they don't want them to have a chance of screwing up the settlement. They want this done. Nobody's moving until this settlement is done and finalized. The one thing I don't know is the moratorium going to be until the settlement's finalized, or is it going to be until it's paid out? For me, I think finalization, and then basically you want to come up, you're paying. You don't want to pay, you're not coming up. Make it a contingency of coming up to FBS. You're going to have to pay into the settlement. You don't have an option. You want to come up, you pay. I think that's a little more likely. But I could be wrong. Now, so that means that North Dakota State, South Dakota State, Tarleton State, Sacramento State, none of those schools are getting in until this is done. Until the House settlement's done and this is done. And the fact is, they really may not do anything of that antitrust exemption. They need to get that buttoned up, which is another video I got going right now in development. It's maybe a while till it gets done, is that how far down will they tear down the NCAA to make this work? And that all depends on what Congress does, and we probably won't be finding out how that starts until February, March. After the election and after the new cycle and everybody comes in, we'll find out then. So no FCSs for right now. This may not be until 2026. And the fact is, I don't see any FCS schools coming in until 2031. Unless your conference deals up sooner than that. Because Mountain West deals be 2031. I don't think the House settlement's going to get resolved and finalized before June 1st. Was it June 1st, 2025? Because they have to give a year's notice. And you have to have a month to do it. So I don't think this is going to get done by June 1st, which means no FCS school is coming into the Mountain West this deal. Because there's not going to be, unless that settlement gets finalized quickly, then they're going to have time. If it doesn't get done by June 1st, there's not enough time to bring them in. So, and preferably you need to do it for 2 years. So, you can do a rush for 1 year, but preferably it's 2 years for a transition from FCS to FBS. So that means it's FBS schools only. Now, somebody brought up the fact of, we're going to go get Tulsa. No, you're not. You got your 4-year deal the same as you had, a $4 million a year deal the same as you had before. The AAC is making $7 million. Tulsa's not taking a $3 million pay cut to come to the Mountain West. No chance. So the schools from the American are out. Obviously, you're not going to get anybody from the Pac-12. The only ones you have a shot at getting are schools, conferences that make less than you. The Sun Belt's only making $2 million right now, but they're going to get a raise soon. They could be going up to $3 million. The Mountain West deal being finalized now at $4 million. It may be worth giving another shot at Texas State, or to find out from Texas State, is it Pac-12 or bust for them, like Sacramento State? Find out from that, finalize that one way or the other. So that leaves, if the Sun Belt's out, that leaves Conference USA and the MAC. The MAC, there's only 2 real options you could have, which means Conference USA. What about New Mexico State? Las Cruces and El Paso are part of the same media market, so you'd be going against yourself. Now, is it a possibility down the road that they may change their mind in order to have enough members they have to bring in New Mexico State? That's a possibility. I'm not going to say there's 0 chance, but it's highly unlikely at this point, which sucks because Mexico State's a good school. But that's the way it is. Now, who else is going to go in there? We've heard about it. Sam Houston State, north of Houston, Texas. They could be a possibility as a football-only member. Again, with Sam Houston State, if you had to bring them in, the only way they'll come in is full membership. Would you do it? That's something to think about. With them, they may have required the same thing. Full membership. So that's a possibility, or they could be football only. I don't know. They're in Conference USA, only making $800,000 a year right now. So even a football only, a $3 million a year is a hell of an upgrade. So there's a possibility. The one that comes up right now, I'm going to bring up one that came up that's actually, hold on, this thing don't pop off the mound. As it almost does. Western Kentucky. They are in Conference USA. They were rumored a while back, remember, with Middle Tennessee State to be going to the MAC. That was when the MAC was making more money than Conference USA. Now that Conference USA is making more money than the MAC, they're not going. When the opportunity came up to go again, they wanted to go. Because the MAC only wanted to take one school. But Middle Tennessee State said no, and they were lockstep together. And Middle Tennessee State said no, so Western Kentucky dropped back. They didn't go. They will go where the money is. Because there's another video that's going to be coming out probably Tuesday of next week. That's going to be about, we know about what the Pac-12 is doing in expansion. This tells you about the Mountain West. What about everybody else in the G6? Because it affects everybody else. The Sun Belt's had Texas State being contact. The MAC's got Northern Illinois being contact. Conference USA's already lost somebody. Pac-12's going out schools in the AAC. If they lose schools, what would they do? That's another video coming up. But Western Kentucky's rumored to be doing a couple of things here. Would they be consideration for a football-only membership to go? That's a possibility. Here's another possibility. Is Western Kentucky, first off, they're in Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is about 25 miles across the Tennessee border. So it's kind of halfway, but it's closer to flying to Nashville and drive up than it is to go to Louisville and drive down. But that's a possibility there. Another one, there's actually two here real quick we're going to do. One is Louisiana Tech. Names sound familiar? Those who were UTEP fans and old Mountain West fans remember them because they were all in the WAC together. Louisiana Tech was a WAC school. Now, they have one of the more winningest teams in Conference USA history since they've joined it. They've been one of the winningest programs. They consistently have had winning seasons. They've had a little bit of a slack off, but they're consistently bowl eligible. They consistently do things. Basketball I haven't looked at. That's why I want to ask you about a basketball video. If I'm going to do that with the Pac-12 and Mountain West schools, candidates, because that's money, they're a possibility. Because they'd be a football-only running mate. So they're also in Conference USA making chicken feed. They're also a possibility. They would be the running mate to go with Sam Houston State, so they'd be right near each other, travel-wise. So that's a possibility to look at. The other one is a joke one here that comes up there, as somebody brought up. I know a few people in Sunbelt schools have had a chance to, over the past few years, since moving to Tennessee, they've had to meet quite a few people from Sunbelt schools and gotten to talk to them and, exchange phone numbers and emails and whatnot, and had stories from all of them. And Troy, a lot of them from Troy, and other schools in the Sunbelt. App State. Haven't had anybody from Liberty yet. But quite a few of them, to say the least, including FIU. There is a running, not FIU's for Conference USA, but that's another story. I'm thinking ahead of the next video. There is actually a running joke that's not a joke. They literally said, because UL Monroe is having a good year this year, but they consistently sucked. They've been horrible. And they said literally there's a joke going around in the athletic departments at some of these places and the universities in the Sun Belt that they would pass around the collection plate and collect $5 million and give $5 million and UL Monroe for the Mountain West to take UL Monroe off the Sun Belt's hands so they could grab Louisiana Tech and bring them in. I thought he was kidding. He says, nah, Louisiana Tech is twice as good as UL Monroe. So I don't know if that's a gag to get UL Monroe out. Louisiana Tech's that good. Combination of both. That's something to consider. Because, I mean, literally, I had that going on that I brought up as a joke to a couple of people I know. Says, no, that's actually serious. I mean, UL Monroe, they would, if they could kick him out, they would. They're kind of hoping somebody else would do it. Maybe do a back channel deal to give them some money. Pass around the collection plate. Give them $5 million. Here, take UL Monroe. We got an open spot. We'll talk to Louisiana Tech. Or maybe bring in FIU. But just something to consider. So basically, no FCS options. You got MAC schools, and there's really only two. And you got Conference USA schools, which means realistically, there's probably only going to be 9 schools, maybe 10 in this conference. Now, ideally, they need to get 9 for basketball. That's going to be important. Could be 9 full members, could be 9 basketball members, 10 football members. So everybody keeps telling me they got rid of the rule where you don't have to have 10 schools to have a conference, 12 schools to have a conference. There's no limit anymore. Really? Because the only ones I know of that ever got the waiver was the Big 12 when they got 10. If that's different now, let me know in the comments. But I've done enough rambling. I got to get going. So, Let me know what you think about all this down in the comments. So thanks everybody for watching the video. If you haven't done already, do me a favor. Smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. It helps the algorithm, helps the video be seen by more people. Comment on the video, what I get right, what I get wrong. Who do you think is a viable county for the Mountain West? Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Share the video if you want to. And if you haven't done it already, check out some of the other videos I've done. If you like them, hey, subscribe to the channel. You know, I'm trying to grow this channel up, get this stuff to something bigger and better. So I appreciate everybody who subscribed. Thank you so much for doing so. I appreciate every single one of you. So thank you for all of that. If you want to follow me on Twitter, on X, and the craziness that is that, my link will be in the description. So thanks everybody for watching. Everybody's having a great Friday. College football, college football, college football. Oh, one other thing. Be good to each other.